Hey, what's up everybody? I hope you guys are doing well this Sunday afternoon. I don't know about you, but I am extremely ready for this quarantine to be over. I am losing my mind day by day. If you haven't yet, I binged watched all of Waco last night on Netflix, and that shit was fire. Anyways, I don't want to make this a very long video. I didn't even make notes for this video. I kind of just want to wing it and cover a few of my favorite moments, and then ultimately the reason why I quit Journeys. So let's just go ahead, get into it. When did I start working at Journeys? I left the Navy in November of 2017, and I started Journeys exactly a month later. So I started December 16th of 2017. I walked in, had a nice suit on, and I was like, yo, I want to be the store manager. And he said, I think I have a part-time position open for you. So I started at 7:25, working 10 hours a week or so. But first, let me tell you how I got hired. So I went in there, well, I called up there to make sure that the store manager was there, and I came in with my leather folder with my resumes and notes and stuff, and I came in there and was like, hey, you're the manager? Cool. Which his name was Trey, or is Trey. He now runs the Little Rock store. But I came in there, made a first impression, had my suit on, clean cut, still had like the buzz cut from the Navy, and and that was that. And then later that night, I went to town to pick my brother up from where he worked, and then when we got back to our home, he was like, oh, I gotta go meet a friend and do this and do that. Will you drive me? Because he didn't have a vehicle at the time. So I drove him, and lo and behold, we went to his friend's house, and the manager of Journeys was there. So now I got to like spend some one-on-one time with him outside of the store, which was really cool because I got to know him a little bit. And he was like, yeah, man, I'll definitely give you an interview tomorrow or whenever it was. And that was that. I pitched my case to him and had an interview with the district manager, and then I was hired like that. Started out part-time, went to sales lead, got a key to the store. Within a couple months, I was a co-manager, and then within a few months from there, I was the store manager. I became the manager in May of 2018. So I'd been there December, January, February, March, April, May. So it was 6 months, and then I was a store manager. And I didn't really know what I was doing at first. Well, I mean, I guess I knew what I was doing, but I wasn't very efficient. I was pretty effective at getting the job done, but every single day I learned more and more and more about the job and about myself and all these other things. So I started to excel. I didn't realize how good I was at first until my second year as manager started. So if you increase your sales $100,000 over last year's sales, you get to go to this Nashville awards celebration party, which is the best thing that Journeys has going, period. It was amazing. I had no idea what I was getting into. My first 9 months as store manager, we increased the store $250,000 over last year. So we increased the store $250,000 over last year's sales in 9 months. So I got invited to this awards party in Nashville for like 3 or 4 nights, and it was the coolest thing I had ever done. And I've traveled the world, and that was cool, but this was my favorite event, 3-day span. This beats London and Hawaii, mostly because I was depressed and not in a good headspace in the military, and now I was civilian enjoying life, you know. So you go to Nashville and they throw all these free things at you, which is really cool. And then they have like live bands play every night, and they had Vans night and Newfound Glory played, which is not one of my favorite bands, but I've definitely seen them play like 5 or 6 times. First time in like 2007. So it was cool to see them up close and personal, and even get on the stage and sing with them, and it was a good time. I was definitely starstruck with the lights and the cameras and all these different things, and I was thinking about quitting around this time, and then after Nashville I was like, yo, I'm working for this company till I die. Like, that was the coolest thing I ever done. And that's when I found out you could win Manager of the Year, and I was just like, what? That's a thing? I'm gonna fucking get that next year. Not to mention, the guy who hired me also went to Nashville, so we got to hang out the whole time, and it was just really magical and very special to experience. I do want to throw in some of my weird, interesting, funny times at Journeys. After I let go of my first co-manager, the district manager kind of interviewed this girl and put her into my store to be my new assistant manager. And we're sitting there talking one day, and I'm training her. It's been a few days, and she's like, you were in the military, right? I was like, yeah. She said, did you ever hear of blah 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 mind control weapons? And I was like, no, personally we never used anything like that, but I'm with the shits. Like, I'm with it. I don't trust the government. I believe in mind control, and I've never seen these things, but the government's fucked up. So then she goes on, and we're talking about weird things, and then she tells me that she's a targeted individual by the government. And at first I'm just like, oh shit, I've watched too many YouTube videos over targeted individuals. I took this pretty serious. And so now she's telling me that they have satellites, and they're like beaming messages into her head and like making her do things against her will and all these other things. And I'm starting to freak out. Another like day goes by, and I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? Do I fire this woman from being my assistant manager, or do we just try to play it out and see how it goes? So we tried to play it. Things start getting really weird and complicated, and I don't want to get into too much detail, but we started catching her like recording audio of customers and my employees, and turns out legally you can record a conversation between you and I, and you don't have to know I'm recording. But if there's like a third person, then it's illegal, or we can't record customers because they're giving us personal information. There's a bunch of loopholes, but I couldn't do anything. But as for the phone policy at Journeys, you have to turn off your phone and like put it in your backpack. So that's where I got her to stop on that part. But my employees were freaking the fuck out and like checking the store for wires and cameras and like checking the bathroom. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't go home and take the picture frames off my fucking walls to see if there was microphones and cameras. Like, I was bugging out, dude. I was freaking out because there's a possibility that the government does target individuals and use psychological warfare to make them do shit against their will. So I called HR. And they said most likely she was schizophrenic, and it would be discrimination for me to fire her for this condition. which I guess makes sense. So now I was stuck with this woman, and she's like freaking the fuck out, and she's like, I'm recording audio to protect myself from you guys because you guys are setting me up, you guys are working with them. And I'm just like, oh my fucking god. Like, long story short, I pretty much just like stayed on top of her and overcorrected her on a bunch of things until she just fucking snapped and was like, I don't want to work here anymore, you guys are terrible people. Which sucks, but like, she was putting us in harm. Well, she wasn't. Oh man, it was toxic. It was weird, bro. How do you deal with something like that? But she got into a pushing fight with my sales lead at the time, and I think like the next day or two she quit, thank God. And then after that I worked like 7 or 8 weeks with no fucking days off because I didn't have any assistant managers. So I was working every single day. Anyways, that was fun. Before I go any further, I just want to say that I left Journeys on good terms, I believe. No hard feelings. It was the best job I ever had. It was my favorite job for sure. So in no way am I trying to discredit Journeys, the company, the people that work there, maybe some of the leaders. I'm with it. I would love to work at Journeys for the rest of my life. But the way my life's set up, it's not going to happen. So take all this with a grain of salt. This is just my personal experience, and I know everybody has their own opinions. I wanted to quit not too long into being a store manager just because I wasn't getting compensated for the pay and the hours, and I had a Mustang and a lot of bills and stuff because I just got out of the military and I was getting paid thousands of dollars a month to serve my country, and now I was making like 1/4 of that same money as a store manager, working double the hours I was just working in the Navy. So I had a tough decision in like August time frame, and I was like, I should quit, but instead I stayed with the company. I got my Mustang repossessed and I bought a shitty ass fucking van, and eventually that's why I also quit drinking and quit running around as much or doing drugs, is because I couldn't afford to do the things that I wanted to anymore, and I had to adjust my life to fit the Journey's pay, which is fine. A 20-year-old can survive on this pay as a Journey store manager. A 27-year-old with a kid, and I'm a single parent, by the way. It's been just me and my daughter 24/7 for the last 5-6 years. I don't know, give or take. But I don't have no fucking help. I got debt and all these other things. So moving on. I wanted to quit. I stuck it out till Nashville was sold by the lights and camera and music and all the bullshit. So I was like, you know what? I'll stay. I had a very successful first year at Journeys, and I thought, how could I do better for this next year? How could I win Manager of the Year or Regional Manager of the Year? What can I do differently? I could stop coming into work hungover, stop drinking, stop all the bullshit, and really focus and grind and create my legacy. And I wanted more money. I needed more money. And anytime I asked for a raise, they just said, you need to sell more shoes, which is fucking impossible in Texarkana when we're down 2,000 people in traffic a month. It's fine. It's okay. I just thought if I proved myself to be one of the best, they would be like, damn, he's one of the best people we have in the company. Not the best, but whatever the fuck. We should pay him more money. So I stuck around, and I was like, I'm going to win Manager of the Year. And then when I step off that stage in Nashville with my Manager of the Year award, I'm going to say, give me a motherfucking raise. So that was my plan. So, and I actually got sober after Nashville. That's when I stopped drinking. Nashville was in March. April was when I quit drinking of 2019. And I fucking hit the ground running. Second year's going great. I'm blowing records out of the water left and right. I'm in the running for Manager of the Year for the district at least. Well, nobody was even close. Sorry. But nobody was close to me in the district at least. It was a rough year for a lot of people. But I was sober most of the year, not drinking. And then I was also doing combo, which has helped me have the stamina and the strength to work these fucking 60 plus hour weeks and have the clarity to be as successful as I was and handle the stress and be a single parent. It was Black Friday of 2019 that I was starting to wither away and was like, fuck this shit. Like, is it really worth it? Like, I'm so stressed out. I want to win Regional Manager of the Year, District Manager of the Year, and I want to be successful, and they're pushing me to be a district manager now, and I'm already a training district manager. Like, is this shit really worth it? I'm still not getting paid what I want or what I truly think I deserve. And I was just, maybe it was so many hours on my feet week after week, but my back started to hurt and my knees started to really hurt. And it was on Thanksgiving that I was like, yo, this fucking sucks. I don't want to work every Thanksgiving, every Christmas Eve, every fucking holiday, every Veterans Day. Like, I'm not going to work every single Thanksgiving for the rest of my life. And that's what's going to happen if I stay at Journeys. I'm going to have to work every weekend and every holiday. Because I was sitting at my Thanksgiving table with my family, well, with my grandmother and a few other family members, and I was just stressed out because I knew I had to go to work in a few hours. So I couldn't even enjoy Thanksgiving because my heart's beating through my fucking chest because it's about to be Black Friday and I have to sell $30,000 fucking dollars in a day or two, and it's a really stressful job. And I think if you haven't fell into the fetal position and had a panic attack in your stockroom, then how much of a manager are you? I'm just kidding, but for real. Having to leave my child again, I was getting kind of fed up with it, and I was in all this physical pain. So then I started drinking again. After Black Friday, I was just so stressed the fuck out. And we have such a high standard in my store. I don't want to say it was impossible, but it was tough because I wanted to be the fucking best. And to be the best, you have to have this discipline. And maybe I took it a little too serious, but this was literally life or death because I'm trying to support my family. So I don't think I took it too serious. Maybe I should have dealt with the stress a little bit differently. But also, I wanted to deal with the stress sober and not smoke or do drugs or drink alcohol. So I was kind of having this inner battle, but I was drinking. I never thought I would be in the category to win Regional Manager of the Year. I knew I could win the district for sure because my numbers were usually higher than most people's. And they have a report that would come out every week, and it'd be like the top 10 stores in the entire company. And I was on that list pretty consistently. Sometimes I was like in the top 3 in the entire company. So we were doing our thing, and I felt really good about my chances of winning the region. So that really pushed me to grind and grind and grind. And I can't tell you how many nights I got off work And I laid in my bed, heart just doo-doo, beating out of my chest to visualize me walking up on that stage in Nashville in front of thousands of people and winning District Manager of the Year, and then winning that Regional Manager of the Year, which came with like $1,000 bonus and a trip to London to the Doc Martin factory. So I made myself sick over this, and I was really, really stressed out because I wanted it so bad. And it's not that I wanted the money or that I wanted to go to London, which I want both of those things, but it was more like I want the recognition. I want to have that. I want to add that to my ego. I want to be the best and prove that I am the best. I've had a lot of people tell me that I was working like a high schooler's job, or that my career at Journeys wasn't serious, which I see both of those. Damn, yeah. I thought I was going to be able to finish it all recording in the chair, but my brother's baby just woke up and she's screaming, so back to the closet. So, the new year starts. It's 2020, and I'm still kind of like on the edge of, is this worth it? Is it not worth it? I want to win this award. What's going to happen if I do win this award? Do I want this to be a long-term career? Because it's really taking a toll on my mental health and my physical health and my personal relationships with myself and with my daughter and with my family. So it's kind of juggling it around. And then January 19th, 2020, we had a combo session here at my house in Texarkana. And I had a couple days off, and it was a really nice ceremony. I went into work like that next Tuesday with a clear mind, and I was ready to work and get down to business. And I walked in and I clock in and I look over, and there was something wrong. It was like a shoe was messed up, or like there was just like something out of place. Whoever had closed had like done a half-assed job the night before. And I remember just getting so pissed off and just being like, fuck, like, which was almost a daily thing. I have had the best staff, the best employees work for me. And sometimes people make mistakes, but it's just like, do the job, do 100% of the job, and do it right. Or don't do it at all. I can't tell you how many people I've fired and let go because they're just not up to my work standard. But the people that I kept around, and there's so many great people that have worked for me. So thank you, and thank you to the people that weren't that great, because you taught me how to be a better leader and fire those people. And none of this stuff's personal. It's all mostly business. Like, I walk in and I'm just instantly pissed off, and I'm just like upset that I'm pissed off. And it's like, oh, like I just took these couple days off and did this ceremony and like got this peace and clarity in my mind, and now I'm fucking angry at 7 a.m. to start my day. And this was a regular thing. I come in, get pissed off, and it's like, fuck. And a voice in my head said, this job is not serving your highest good anymore. And that was not the final sign, but that was the kicker. That was the start of the end. What am I going to do if I do quit? So then I started to think about, what do I really love about Journeys? And I love talking to strangers every single day. I felt like I was at Journeys to connect with people and build a network and change people's lives, and which I have. I've touched the lives of many employees and touched the lives of many of my regular customers and mentored some of them, and some of them are lifelong friends now, which is great. I'm more than grateful for the time that I spent with these people and the influence that I've had in these people's lives too. So I liked helping people, and I wanted to really help people, not just sell them fucking shoes because they're greedy or they have to have the newest shoes. Like, what good are we doing to society and to the world? Like, and people come in there and treat me like fucking shit all the time anyways. Like, what good am I really doing working here at Journeys? I'm helping the immediate people, my staff, make money to make a living, but like, I'm not really doing anything. And then I get word that we're moving into a new district. So my district manager, who had been there from the start, wasn't going to be my district manager anymore, and we were getting a new one, and all these changes were happening, which was okay. It was exciting. It was a new time, new phase, and I was like, okay, this is going to be interesting. This will be fun. After January 19th, when I had that experience getting pissed off in the morning, I was like, I started to see more and more signs that I needed to leave Journeys, and that my higher self was like, you need to get out of here. This isn't working for you. That next weekend, I'd went and traveled to San Antonio and to Austin with my friend, and she let me assist her in doing some work and all these other things. And I came back that Monday after traveling to San Antonio and Austin, so I only got like an hour or two of sleep. Went to work that Monday, and then the district manager, my new district manager, called me and was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be at your store tomorrow." And I was just like, "What the fuck?" Like, the piss poor planning from the managers and the district managers and regional managers is fucking bullshit. Because I have a life, I have plans, bro. I have one day off a week most of the time. And you're just gonna say that you're coming on that one day, so now I don't have an off day. Not to mention, like, I've been up traveling the fucking state, which is my personal life, interfering with my business life. But the fact that they can't say, I'll be there in 2 weeks, or I'll be there in a week, they're just like, hey, we're gonna be there in 2 days, or we're literally coming tomorrow. I know that's your off day, so I'll see you. And that's one thing that rubbed me wrong the entire time I worked at Journeys, was they would just call me and be like, yo, you need to go work in Shreveport for 2 days starting tomorrow. It's just like, well, cool. I was gonna, go to my daughter's soccer game, but you're right. It's all for the company, right? Or you need to go to Frisco to do this inventory count. Or it was always something, dude. It was always something. You never get an off day, or you can. It's just, I'm on top of my shit. I plan my shit very well, and then Journeys was just like, we're just gonna, we throw a dart at a calendar, and that's the day that we're gonna come. And not to mention, the week before, I had the senior vice president of sales in my store because they were showing me off, because I had won regional manager of the year, but they hadn't told me yet, and they wanted to show me off to this guy and do it for my career and boost me up and build my head up. And then the next week, this guy, new district manager, new regional manager, they come in on my off day. I'm not excited about it at all. I'm fucking tired because I haven't slept, and now I have to work on my off day. I'm frustrated, I'm pissed off. So I'm just like, oh, like, it's rubbing up against my soul now. What happened next? Meet the new boss. A week goes by. Starting that next week, my district manager says, yo, you have some good staff in your store. We are going to think about pulling your manager in training, your assistant manager, and we're going to put her out in Shreveport as a store manager. Which, by the way, I'd been working out in the fucking Shreveport stores for months, and they are fucking garbage. The managers are fucking trash. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But they are garbage. And it was just a waste of my fucking time, a waste of my life, a waste of resources, a waste of money to the company. And I would go down there and they would just treat me like shit. And I'd be like, yo, these managers suck. What are you doing? Like, let me hire somebody to put in here. These people are trash. Trash, 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 trash. They don't give a fuck. That's why they stole $4,000 or $5,000 on their audits and stuff. Like, so they never listened to me, even though I was the front man out there working for Journeys, trying to fix these stores. And so now they're taking my staff to go replace these managers. They're finally going to fire these shitty managers. Cool. Great. that's what my staff wants. They want to run their own stores. Cool, that's great. Take her. She's ready. So that week starts. He says we might take her. I think he takes her in a couple days. And it's like, okay, so now I'm down an assistant manager. Now I have to work a little bit extra while I look to replace her. And I have another assistant manager. And then by the end of the week, he says, hey, we're going to need your other assistant manager too. We're going to promote her and put her in the Bossier store. Great. Cool. That's what she wants too. But what's going to happen to me now? I don't have any assistant managers. I have a sales lead who is my fucking rock, and you are awesome. So now it's just me and one other guy. We're the only ones with keys to the stores. That first week that he took both of my co-managers in a week, and when he called me to tell me he's taking the second one, he said, hope you're ready to do some real work. Like, the fuck I am. I'm a single parent, and now I have to work every single day. How? And then, not to mention, Nashville was in like 2 weeks, which meant I was going to be out of my store in Nashville winning these awards with one person to run my store. Who the fuck is going to run it? Not to mention the kids' store had their own problems going on and needed managers in there too. Piss poor fucking planning. So, if I wasn't stressed enough, they just came in, wrecked my fucking store. Not wrecked it, man. These people got what they wanted. But at what cost to me? Like, you didn't give me any time to replace these people. And I was definitely down for the challenge. And then you made it really hard when you took my other assistant manager. So now I don't have any help. How am I supposed to even step out and interview people? And income tax hits. So I worked 86 hours that first week with no co-managers. And I was about to blow it was very tough. And then I worked like 70 hours the next week. With all this going on, I'm coming into work every day, and I'm barely making it through the days because I'm just like so stressed out. And I'm like walking in circles because I'm just like, can't think straight. Oh my God, we're getting slammed because people are spending their income tax money. Oh my God, like, I have to take my daughter to Girl Scouts. I have to pick my daughter up from school. I have to do this. I have to do that. I was moving out of my apartment on March 1st, which is my fucking birthday. Also, February 22nd, I went to Dallas because my friend was hosting yoga at this yoga studio. And we went out there, stayed the night. And I was supposed to have that Sunday off. But what did they do? A few days before, they were like, you have to have a meeting on this day. And also you have to do a 4 or 5 hour visual change. And it's just like, what the fuck? I've been planning this day off for like 2+ months. So what I had to come back from Dallas, do this fucking meeting, and do this visual change on my off day. I'm trying to pack boxes at home, but I'm working 80 hours a week because you promoted all my co-managers, and the only day off I have is March 1st, which is my fucking birthday, and I have to move out of my 2-bedroom apartment into a 3-bedroom one on this one day that I have off. And luckily, my brother is a blessing, and he did most of that work for me because I was working so much. I wasn't even seeing my kid because I wasn't getting off work most days until like 7 or 8 p.m. And then what am I going to do? Go get my kid, spend 30 minutes, an hour with her, and then go to bed? Like, it was a very unenjoyable time. And I was coming into work and just fucking freaking out. So, my birthday happens, I move, come to work, and then I get a call from my old district manager. They canceled Nashville. The whole reason for me working so hard got canceled because of the coronavirus. They canceled it. They said, we're not going to do it. Don't know if you won the regional manager of the year or not, but we'll figure out a way to celebrate if you did and all this other bullshit. So my dreams were crushed. Everything I had worked so hard for, it was just gone, you know. I was upset, but I wasn't broken yet. I was definitely upset. At the end of that week, March 7th, that Saturday, one of my regular customers followed me home and put a fucking gun to my head and robbed me. I left Journeys that night, took an employee home, and then I noticed that this vehicle was following me, and I thought it was the cops. So I was paranoid, and I was just like, oh shit, I wasn't doing anything wrong, but it's the cops, okay? I don't want to be a targeted individual by the government. And I get out of my van, this car comes flying into the parking lot, and I'm just like, whoa, assholes. And I keep walking, I look up, and the moon is full. It was a full moon like a day or two before, actually. And I look up and I'm just like, wow, like, haven't had the time to look up at the sky since I moved over here yet. That's a nice view of the sky. Wow, look at that moon. And then I get to my door and I'm like fiddling with my keys and I hear, give me all the fucking money. And I'm just like, who? What? Me? What money? Like, and I turn around and there's this short little black guy and he's got a ski mask on and a jacket and he's got a fucking 9mm and he's pointing it in my face. And instantly I'm just like, I kind of like freeze up. I'm just like, oh fuck, this is real. I thought it was a joke or something. And I hit the ground and I'm just like, oh fuck, like, oh, I feel the bullet in me already. Oh, I've been shot. And so I'm kind of like leaned up like this up against the wall, but like on the ground. And I look and I see that he's got on red and black fucking Fila's that you can only get from my store. They're $19. Cheap ass motherfucker. And so then I see the shoes and I'm like, those came from my store. And I look up and I can recognize the fucking kid through the ski mask. Because I sold him the shoes February 28th, 2012 at 12 p.m. on Register 2. Because I remember he came in a couple times and he was just being rude and I was really fucking busy because I didn't have any assistant managers and my district manager was there just following me around like a fucking puppy dog and not helping me It's okay. It's alright. He came in to visit and I was like, what are you doing here? You gonna help me work? Because I'm fucking busy. I sell him these shoes. He uses them to fucking rob me. Whatever. He's got the gun in my face. I'm like, bro, I got $10 in my wallet. I guess he assumed I had the Journeys deposit. And that night, that Journeys deposit was like $3,000 or $4,000 because it's tax season. And I guess he just assumed I had it. And once I told him, I was like, I got $10 in my wallet. He was kind of like, oh, shit. Long story short, took my wallet. Another guy ran up. And by the time he got there, he was like, yo, let's go. Got the wallet and fucking, they ran around the building, ran off. Whatever. I had just been robbed. I call my district manager. He doesn't answer. And it's like 10 o'clock. I send him a text message. This is what happened. Okay, maybe he's asleep. He'll call me tomorrow. The next day, Sunday. Don't hear anything from my district manager. I go up to Journeys so I can ask the mall, hey, can I use your cameras to like identify this guy? None of the fucking cameras in the mall work. Which is okay. Journeys also doesn't have any cameras. I'm not trying to put anybody's life in danger, but you're already in fucking danger. So we have no way of identifying this guy. Whatever. I go into Journeys. I reprint the receipt from the day I sold him those shoes. And I'm like, look, this is the fucking receipt. If I can get the cameras somewhere in the mall to get footage of this day at this time, I can track this guy down. And sure enough, Red River Federal Credit Union worked with us and we got him at the ATM at 11:30 on that day that he bought those shoes. So thank you, Red River, for helping us out when nobody else did. Okay, so while I'm printing this receipt, the guy who robbed me came into Journeys And I had been making a joke about it with my employees, and I was like, if he comes in here, yada, yada, yada. He fucking came in there. This is real. This really happened. And I'm like giving my sales lead the eyes. I'm like, that's the fucking guy who robbed me, dude. And I engage with him. I'm like, what's up, dude? How's your day going? Oh, yeah. Where'd you get them slides at? Cool. Like, you want to try those on? Would you need a size 10? Okay. I just start like fucking with him, being obnoxious. And I engage with him until he leaves the store. And then I'm like, I call security, I call the cops, and I'm on the phone with the cops, and I'm walking outside of my store trying to find this guy and give him a description of what he was wearing and stuff. Cops put me on fucking hold because I said it wasn't necessarily an emergency, and they put me on hold for like 5 minutes. So if they had listened to me, they could have got there sooner and arrested him then. It's fine. So I'm standing there with security. I'm on the phone with the cops, and this guy comes around the corner with his 2 other buddies, who I assume were with him the night before when he robbed me. And he sees me pointing at him and talking on the phone, and I got these security guards around me, and him and his friends turn, and they're starting to go out one of the exit doors, and I was like, yeah, all right, man, just trying to get his attention. And he's like, what? And I was like, all right, bro, I'll be seeing you around for sure. And so now he's approaching me, and he's like, what's your problem, bro? You think I stole something from your store? And I was like, nah, dog, like, you didn't steal nothing from my store, but didn't I sell you some Fila's? And he was like, nah. And I was like, yeah, bro, those red and black Fila's, size 10, they were like $19. And he's like, yeah, you did sell me those. And I was like, yeah, you wore them when you fucking robbed me last night. And the cops were upset that I said that. They immediately were like, no, disengage. But I was so pissed off. I wanted to rip this guy's face off. So I blew my cover, and he was just like, no, I didn't rob you. And I was like, you motherfucker. And I'm like screaming at this guy. And he's slowly backing away, takes off running, gets away. So now I'm like, I'm fucking on one. Not only did I just get robbed the night before, but the guy just came into my store acting like nothing fucking happened, and I chased him out of the mall. And I already have like PTSD and some things from the military. And I gotta say, I didn't sleep for like 2 weeks. I would lay in bed at night and my heart would just be like to like 3, 4, and 5 in the morning, because I didn't feel safe anymore. I would take a bath and just be like thinking like somebody's gonna break into my fucking house. This guy knows where I live. He knows where I work. Like, and he knows I got the cops on him. All he has to do is come over here and fucking kill me. And I'm thankful he didn't shoot me over $10 in the first place. So I didn't deal with that very well. But I didn't go to drinking. Thank God. I continued my sobriety and just dealt with this fucking PTSD and this like looking over I carried my gun every single day for like 6 weeks after this, even if I was going anywhere, and I'm constantly like looking over my shoulders and stuff. Not a way to live. So anyways, I leave the mall that Sunday, and as I'm leaving, the guys who had robbed me, I see them walking down the street because they had ran out of the mall, hid somewhere, and then I stayed for like an hour or two. And when I went home, I saw them walking up Richmond Road, and I was just like, no fucking way. I found the suspects again. So now I'm trailing them. I'm following them in my creepy ass white van. And I call the cops again. I'm like, yo, I got the Eagle in sight. The package has landed. I am on it. Like, put me on the fucking payroll, detective. I can help you out. Anyways, I followed them back to their apartment complex, and I stopped because there was like this final little corner, and then I would have been like trapped back there with them. And I was like, I followed them long enough. this is where they are, police officers, and they pulled in and they still didn't fucking get them. At least, not yet. Not at this time. I was fucking on one. Still haven't heard from my district manager. The next day comes around. It's Monday. It's time for me to go back to work. I have to work that morning. And I just hired a new assistant manager. We do our office calls with our district managers every Monday, and he canceled my office call. So not only has it been 2 days and my higher-ups have not responded to my incident that was pretty much work-related, so then I was just like, no, motherfucker, like, you're about to talk to me now, and I'm about to get what I want. So I texted him, calling him out, and was like, yo, I really appreciate you responding to my near life-death experience related to this job. Thank you for handling it appropriately. I'm taking today off because I have to go get a driver's license. I have to go get a new debit card. I have to do this and do that. And he was like, I totally agree. You know, like, you're right. I should have responded appropriately to that. But I was just tired and I didn't check my phone. Like, you're our fucking leader. It's cool. It's fine. So I go and replace all these things. Then I come back to work and work like an hour or two to finish off the day. And at this point, I'm like trying to sell shoes. And I'm just like the guy's going to come in here and kill me. Or he might know other people and they're fucking watching me. And now I'm paranoid and I'm scared for my life. And I'm also fed up with the way everything has been going. And they canceled Nashville. And it's just like, life's hitting me hard, back to back to back. And I want to say, the day that I got robbed, I've been playing with tarot cards, and I prayed really hard. I was like, do I really need this job? And I played the tarot cards, and I got the death card. And the death card doesn't mean I was going to die. It means this shit's coming to an end, and a new beginning is coming. Like, this is the end of this. And then I got robbed that night. You can go back to my Instagram and see the day that I played that card and posted it. And then I got robbed that night. It's insane. Like, the universe was looking out for me. Or the universe was trying to get me out of Journeys. At the end of that day, I told my district manager, I was like, yo, I need some mental health days. Like, I can't be here. I'm fucking freaking out. I'm trying to work with the detectives. Like, I need a couple days off to deal with my mental health and to process all this, bro. I can't be in the place where I was robbed or targeted and followed home and robbed. Like, I need a fucking break. And he said, well, who's going to watch your store? What about your store? You care more about the fucking store than you do about my mental health? How about you come down here and run my fucking store? Because you took all my assistant managers and all these other things, and you're about to lose me as well. I was really pissed off that he said that. And I said, I don't care who runs the store, you know? And he said, are we comfortable with your new assistant manager really running the store by herself? And I was like, I don't know. I was going to go to Nashville and leave my sales lead to run the store by myself. Remember that? Remember how you said that that was okay? But now I can't take 2 days off because I got a gun put to my fucking head? So I pretty much had to make my demand that I had a couple days off. And I know he wasn't happy with it, but ultimately it was what was best. And then in those 2 days off, I took a lot of time to myself and weighed a bunch of pros and cons and really, really, really thought about it. And I decided that it was time to go. Like, getting robbed was my final sign that I needed to leave Journeys, and Journeys served me well, but it wasn't serving my highest good anymore, at least, you know. Journeys gave me a place where I could express myself and be myself and learn about myself, and it was accepted, and it was cool, and I was really good at the job. It was easy, it was fun, it was exciting. It wasn't going to be a career for me in the long term. Like, I could stay at Journeys and work, but I'm not going to move up to be a district manager and work 80 hours a week and then travel 4 or 5 days a week and see. I asked my district manager once, I said, how do you deal with the stress? How often do you see your daughter? He said, man, sometimes I only see my daughter twice a week. And I was like, fuck you. Like, no. It's not worth it. That's not going to happen for me. Journeys can be worth it for you and whatever you want, but it wasn't going to work for my lifestyle that I wanted in the future, you know? It was great, but it wasn't going to work. So I thought about it, and I came back after those couple days off, and I was like, yo, like, I'm putting in my 2 weeks. I'm done working here at Journeys. I really wanted to wait until I got that award, and the award came with a trip to London in May, and I was just waiting for that really to see if I got that, to like really make the decision on should I quit, should I not quit. But they canceled Nashville. They canceled the trip to London even if you won because of the coronavirus. So it was like everything I was working for was just gone anyways, and I called him, told him I wanted to put in my 2 weeks, and he said, well, you know you won Regional Manager of the Year, right? And I was like, oh, cool. It's good to know that I won that award. He told me, he's like, you're so good at this. Like, you're really good at this job. You don't realize your potential within this company. And I was like, no, I do. You don't realize the potential in me. I see how good I am at this company. I've been good at every job I have ever done. Look at my track record. It's me. I'm a good worker. But I got a good work ethic. And I'm going to make things happen. And if you can show me the black and white how to be the best, I will. I will memorize it front to back and do it over and over and over and over again. And ask for help on the way up and be humble about it. They weren't very happy. That's when they wrote out the red carpet for me and were like, would you like to take your vacation and take some time off? And I was like, oh, so now I can take 2 weeks off and you'll pay me to go home and chill. But I put in my vacation for June for 2 weeks and you said you couldn't approve it because who's going to watch your store for that long? Yeah, say they have a bad first week while you're gone, then they're going to have another bad week. And that's 2 bad weeks while you're gone. We just can't approve that. But now that I have no assistant managers besides one who's only been there a few days, and I have my sales lead, now I can take my vacation time off. Just because you want to keep me now. Because I'm an investment for the company, but I can't invest in my personal life and take this vacation when I won't. And then they came down the next day. It was really emotional and it was really tough. Quitting Journeys was not easy. Like, I feel strongly about some of these things, but it was not easy. I have been upset. It was like getting my divorce almost. Like, this shit was hard. I didn't want to leave Journeys. My heart is in it, but my mind is like, this doesn't make sense. You can't work this hard for this long at this pay for this and this and this and this. You want all of these awards, but what are you sacrificing to get it? They came down, offered me more money and all these other things, and then turns out they were underpaying all of my co-managers I had ever had. They didn't want to pay me what I was worth until I was ready to walk out the door, which is bullshit, because I asked for raises so many times and they just said, you just need to sell more shoes. Like, I'm one of the only 7 managers in the company who won that award for Regional Manager of the Year, and I was one of them. But yet I'm getting paid $15 an hour, which might be good if you're 20 years old and just moved out of your parents' house. It's not very good when you've had a divorce and you got credit card debt and fucking Mustang repossessed and all this other bullshit. Like, put in my 2 weeks. They try to talk me into staying, but I stand my ground, tell them I'm not coming back, and that it's over. And that I have to make this decision for me and not for anybody else. I definitely felt bad for leaving my staff behind and leaving the store behind and letting people down. But I don't feel like I let anybody down because I don't owe anybody anything. I had been talking about leaving and I had been preparing people. I was like, hey, you need to get prepared because I might leave. Like, this isn't going to work out for me in the long run. So I work a couple more days, but I'm like half-ass working now because I don't want to be in the store anymore. I'm getting ready to leave. And then on St. Patrick's Day, a bunch of the stores in the mall were closing down because of the coronavirus. And I sent a message to HR and like some of the higher ups in the company, and I was like, yo, why the fuck are we open but you can cancel Nashville? There's coronavirus in my city and I'm on the front lines. And I told my district manager, I said, today's the last day I'm going to risk my life for this company. Like, I'm fucking done, bro. I'm done. And I'd already talked to unemployment, and quitting because of this situation qualified me for unemployment. So, like, I had something to fall back on while I looked for another job. So I was just blessed. Like, I feel like it all happened so perfectly for me to leave, get robbed, get unemployment, and now the whole country's mostly unemployed, and I was ahead of the curve on this unemployment, and it just worked out so well. I was just so blessed. I was definitely depressed for a couple weeks. I didn't leave my bed. I didn't like really answer calls because it was like I just left an abusive relationship, man. Like, my heart was broken. I was torn. I kept playing like scenarios in my head, like, how can I make Journeys work but still like love my life and enjoy it? I can't. Ultimately, I would highly recommend working at Journeys. They should definitely pay their part-time employees more than $7.25 an hour, especially since we were one of the top stores in the country, and I'm working the shit out of these part-timers for $7 an hour, but yet we're making the company fucking thousands of dollars in profit a year. They deserve so much more. It's a very stressful job, but it's also really fun. The people working there deserve more. Journey should take less from the lights and the flashing cameras and all this bullshit and invest that more into their employees. I definitely filed a complaint after I left. Well, I just filed it like a week or so ago to the CEO and stuff, like explaining pretty much all of this and how they should pay people more and work harder on letting people. If I could work 45 hours a week like I'm supposed to and get paid decently and get my 2 days off, I was pretty much fine with the pay. You can pay me a little bit more, but I just 45 hours and 2 days off. If you could guarantee me that, I would work for Journeys for the rest of my life. But you can't. It's unrealistic, and it's not going to happen. If you want to be a Journeys manager, you have to be willing to give up whatever you have and work 50 hours a week average to 60 to 70. I know some of you managers who work 80 hours. You know what I'm talking about. Like, I don't have any hard feelings. I love the job. I would love to go back, but I'm not. Like, I don't know what I'm about to do. I'm getting my combo license and I got some other things in the works, but I ain't really worried about it. I feel really good about myself and my ability to be successful, and the whole world's like on lockdown, so what can I fucking do right now? I had a lot of really good times at Journeys, and I'm forever grateful that they gave me an opportunity to work somewhere and to prove my worth, especially after getting kicked out the military. You know, like, Trey hired me part-time and I worked my way up to win the highest award in the company in 2 years. I'm forever grateful. I feel like my time at Journeys was spent well, and I learned a bunch of things, and I'm sober now, and I've met so many people in the community here, and I've built a network, and I'm thankful for Journeys and everything Journeys has given me. I don't regret anything. I don't regret any of it. I don't regret working so hard for less pay because I loved it. I would work for less pay because of my love for the company and the store and my staff. But realistically, you got to take your heart out of it sometimes. My heart was in it. My mind knew better. And I'm not saying if you're a store manager that you should quit or anything like that. If you can survive and balance it and have a healthy relationship with Journeys and whatever else you want to do, that's cool. It just wasn't going to work for me. And it's still to this day, I'm like, how can I make it work? How could I still work at Journeys? Bet, hire me part-time and I'll work seasonal. Okay, I'm done. Thank you guys for listening to another episode. I got one more, and then season 1's done, and we're going to take another turn and start working on these other projects that I have in mind. Thank you guys.